part, we're going to talk about some of the new tools that we're going to be learning and also about how to make our drawing a little bit efficient and good use of construction geometry. So the first thing we should do is when we make our part, save it right away so we know where it is and what its name is. I'm going to call this scissors. So I'll save it. The first thing it wants us to do is create a sketch, any plane you want. My favorite is almost this one. Uh, and then it says add a rectangle, and the model origin should be at the bottom right hand corner. So the reason for that, if you if you look at what this looks like, the point that we don't want to move at all is this one. When we open and close the scissors, we want where the scissors touch each other to stay still. So that should be the first thing you click on. That should be where we start our origin. So we're just going to make a rectangle. Size really doesn't matter. I'll use a 2-point rectangle. Click on the origin. Click over this way or somewhere. And then we're going to create what's called a spline. A spline goes smoothly between a number of points. So we're going to create the spline. It doesn't matter which side you start with. And this is the spline tool right here. If you don't see that on your menu, you can always go down to spline and choose a fit point spline so it goes through those points. And so I'm going to click here. I'm going to click and just kind of following the shape that they kind of have there. When I get to the end, hit the check mark. Now, I don't want to make another spline, so I'll hit escape a couple times. And I'm not crazy about the shape of this, so I can move these control points or these fit points until I'm happy with the shape. So you can put them anywhere you want. I think I want to bring the whole box down a little bit and then bring these inside. Yeah, I like that shape a little better. It's not that big a deal. Right. Now with the old software, you had to kind of trim things into just a boundary. It doesn't really matter here, but we don't need this line or this line. So we're going to trim those, and the trim is the little picture of the scissors up here. So we'll trim this and that. Gets rid of anything until it bumps into another line. And they also warned us that there were some perpendicular type constraints and things in there. It deleted those when we deleted some of the lines. That's fine because it doesn't affect what we're doing, and it really doesn't matter at all. So next, I don't want to have to draw this twice, but I do want both of my scissors to be exactly the same. So I'm going to add a line that comes down here. And that line is just going to be the center between the two scissor blades. So I want it to be construction geometry. I'm not going to use it for any profiles. So I'll click on it, right click, choose normal construction. And now I'm going to use mirror to make the other scissor blade. So create, here's mirror. The objects that I want to mirror are this one, and this one. And then I'll click select for the mirror line right there. That looks pretty good. I'll click OK. You know what? I'm still not all that crazy about the shape of this though, so I think I'm going to bring some of these points in. Notice as I change this, the bottom one is changing also because I chose mirror. So as I make these changes, the bottom one changes exactly the same, right? And then also if I drag this line up and down, notice how the scissors kind of move together. Now some of those things are not moving exactly like I want them to. This point right here was moving when I kind of wanted it to stay still. So I'm going to add some more constraints to control the shape of this side. So the first part of the self-check, that's great, but then we're going to add some dimensions. And I don't care about the numbers exactly. I just want to make sure that the distances stay the same. I also don't want to dimension point to point, but from the vertical line over here to make sure that I'm measuring straight sideways. So come back into Fusion. hit D for dimension, and then just go from this line to the closest fit point. Hit enter. Do that for each one. It's better to go closest to farthest because each one you can do a little bit higher until we get all the way to the right side. Enter. And then we're going to do the same thing going up, going from the axis to the first point, axis to the second point, and to the last one. And so now everything is dimensioned. These things can't change down here. So when I drag the line, the bottom scissors move up and down exactly where they are. And that's what we're supposed to do. It looks really good.